They did a song, Ane Tuada, that it was one, like, oh yeah, a futu or a wutu. Ane Tuada, I was like, whoa. So we are limiting ourselves. Tell the church musicians there, they are not even not out of. They are not part of this conversation. But if this education is made and everybody now is aware that, look, music is no longer what it used to be in terms of business. Music is not just about fame again. I want to be famous. No, we've gone past
I don't want famous.
that level. Yes, in a way, people say, challenge the maminya fuamo. High life. Yeah, mauska. At least, if you hustle and government even give you 30,000 Ghana cedis. Who call the somebody might even help you.
Yeah.
But government is giving you 30,000 and then also asking the media houses to play High Life. Every media house, give us 1 hour within a week of High Life version. You better monitor.
If you don't do it, you close down.
Me say, a conscious effort. The rumor was that Shatawale got $1 million from the OC. Whether it was correct or wrong, today we have seen the mansion is using. Where did the money come from?
Hello, lovely and good people. My name is Sama Bananjan.
My name is John Edmondson Sam, Faculty of Theatre Arts Department. My specialty is sound design. I use music for the stage, television, film, documentary, and what have you. I'm currently a tutor and also do, productions for the likes of Latif, Chief Moomin, Fifi Coleman, Africa Arts, and the likes. And music is a big business for me. And so this is something like an interest I would take.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Benjamin Amachimbuatin. Currently, I'm the head of the Department of Music at the University of Ghana. I'm an ethnomusicologist, and I have been teaching in this school for since 2009. I have taught courses in music history, African music, and I have led ensembles like the choral ensemble and the rest. My area has in fact been on music and identity, where I try to see how music gives identity to the people that perform. Specifically, I've been working on Afro-Brazilians who live in Ghana. And they are known as the Tabon. They live around Jamestown. They've been here since the beginning of the 19th century, about 200 years ago. And they have a unique type of music. And I have been researching into that music. And I'm also interested in the youth. I have a lot of affiliation for the youth. I try to bring them up in terms of them finding their potential in music production, music performance, and all. So you may see me on several television programs, judging musical performances and many more. Long time ago. 70s, 80s, that's like 40, 50 years ago. The music business among them, I don't think they really knew anything about music business. The only thing they could have been doing was maybe they get a gig and then their managers or whoever gives them some tips, and they were not really into contracts and all those things. And so it made a lot of the musicians even lose a lot of their works, because if a composer has done a musician has composed some music and has a manager or somebody who goes around to perform with that person, and then after at the end they give you some tips for your work, and then before you realize the work is even lost your name doesn't even come, it's not associated with the work. So in those days, I don't think there was anything like music business. They were only interested in getting their tips after a gig or something like that. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to what he said. Yes, I think back in the days, the idea of Nkrumah's legacy of, empowering the African, okay, even with the art, was more like projecting who we are as Africans than making money, you know, out of what they were doing. So you can see more energy going into their work to project where they are coming from. The OCBCs are a typical example. And so they, you know, usually they got the chance to be managed by some of these, European, managers. And so they give you the best of, maybe we'll give you a house, okay? Or we'll get you gig the whole year you are traveling, having fun. And then you come home with something in your pocket. They were not actually thinking of owning their stuff. So you realize that almost all the albums were not, even though they have the IP, it was not theirs. They didn't know what they were in for. All they were in for was more fame, touring the whole world, giving you money to buy maybe a 2-bedroom house, and you think you're cool, and then a car. And so music business wasn't business at the time. It was just for the masters to enjoy. So craving for good artists, to turn their fortune. So more of the producers were enjoying, but not. And the basic idea is that music at the time was, quote unquote, noted to be something for vagabonds at the time. So no parent would even want to glorify the idea that my son is a musician or something. It was just like seen as wayward people would only go into music. And so, that business aspect, no, not at all. Yes.
Why was it like that?
Well, because one, those people who had become these top musicians, most of them learned from the wayside. You understand? Not through the education system. Because definitely your teacher might say something or educate you in a way that you're like, oh, I think there's some business in there for me. I might say that we might have 1 or 2 people, and even those people were not backed by the power of music business, like Ebotela. That gentleman, that old man today, St. Augustine student, one of the best, Ghana can have. Science student, not a music, somebody. He was a science student. He got Ace, but he got a chance to, get a scholarship to Royal Academy of. Even him, it is today that Anglebo is reaping his worth. Today.
Very old. He's not.
Oh, his 80s. He could be 86. Now he even sits in a chair to perform.
Yeah.
Yes.
What historical structures or systems made it difficult for artists to understand or benefit from royalties, contracts, or publishing?
So like he was telling you,
There hasn't been any platform. The only thing that was there was that you want to be famous. You want to be famous, sorry. Yes, we'll carry you to any part of the world. There was no system. There was no system. And basically, everything was like more of, the system that was there was more of commissioning. So someone like Essie Bones is a producer. And the producers had the right. You want your music to be on an LP. Or not even a CD, more of the vinyl.
we didn't have CDs and
The vinyl and tape. So yours was that you will be furnished with travels, produce it. The producer has about 80%, the 20% will be your travels and maybe a small plot or house they'll buy for you. That was it. So the only thing was few producers like the Essie Bones and the
the
Fata Hawani.
Fatal, Talal Fatal.
No, not Talal Fatal. Sami Hawani's father. Something Hawani. He and them were he and Esbons
Yeah.
and some few
They were living the later days since. Because if you talk about the um those his HRM, his Royal Majesty records and all those.
back
those
way back
early-
the Decca
Decca records, what I wanted.
back in the days.
Yeah.
And like Ambassador Records.
People just wanted
Yeah, there were Ambassador Records, Decca, and the Esbons.
yes.
And then Faisal Hawani. He also had Obibini Records.
New record.
Yeah. And so back in the days, there were few, but the artists wanted to be
Famous. Yeah.
wanted to be famous. And that will end there. You understand? They didn't have grips of their stuff. They didn't understand the business aspect. That contract that they are signing, you don't have the IP as so probably you have it for to a point. And then you don't have it
You
again.
don't own it again.
Yes.
But now that most of them don't own their masters, what are the measures they are putting in place to be able to like reclaim all these things?
It's gone though.
Those ones sign those contracts. Their kids cannot even, unless of course there is a universal
Declaration.
that after 70 years it becomes a public domain.
Yeah.
But now the producers are selling
Rights.
and the moment you see Ezbo's record, it has this Ghana the trade
Logo. Yeah.
the logo on it and written Ezbo's. They even at the point were doing compilations. Yes, compilations of different highlights and all that. I wish I could show you some record plates, but I don't know whether I have some in the office right now. But I'm not sure I can get access to the start of Ezbo's. I will show you to you, and that's it. You get a little, and that will be it. You don't have access.
No contract signed.
Yeah.
No.
When you are commissioned, it is your lyrics, and then he will go and find musicians to come and play. So they are paid after their performance. Okay, this envelope. Agbena. Nothing like performance right. Nothing like royalties. Yeah. No. You don't own it.
How might African music history have been different if artists had access to educational or contracts, royalties, and publishing?
Like a lot of musics would have owners. Because we have a lot of music in Africa, we say unknown.
Yeah.
Composer is not known, and all those things. But if composers were conscious of some of these things, some songs we have today that are missing,
Yeah.
we will know that this one is this person who composed. You know, a lot of traditional songs and
Yes, I've gone.
we don't know the composers.
Yeah.
And people are rather reaping the benefits, taking it and rebranding the songs and doing all sorts of things. And they are rather eating from the proceeds. While they sample the record, see they sample it, and then the original composers are nowhere to be found. So if they had that mind in the beginning, even if they are dead now, their families
The line will enjoy
have been benefiting
Yeah.
from some
Yeah.
royalties.
just to top up. In fact, it would have been a different ball game altogether. Now, our music would have actually gone further than what it is now. By which this time, even Highlife, that we are struggling to make it world, music, would have gone there. You understand? And so it's like, we perform folk music. And it would have also given birth for us to now define the styles and all that. You understand? And we don't even have access to them. How then do we even go beyond defining what they are? And then again, it would have also helped the current generation to know what belongs to our ancestors, our people, and sampling is easy. The person sitting there doesn't even know that, this 16 bar, melodic line. It's just nowadays that once in a while we hear a hip hop artist has taken a bootyless hook, and then we hear this one has taken this
Added some raps.
and that, and then even own the idea of the so-called R&Bs emanating from here, you know. Like, but one or two of them were successful in a way. Somebody like
Kofi Ganaba.
Kofi Ganaba. He worked with a guy called Brett Cambert, a South African, jazz, musician. And some of the songs were even used by GBC. Dun, 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 dun. 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 Dun, 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 dun. This is Pika Fante. Call mommy call. Oda semunamwe by Kakeku. Call mommy call Oda semunami. I want carry mama so I carry Oda semunami. You see? So that album, he sold it to, he made money. Kanaba, I hear his house at Dome. It's like the whole school year. Big place. And so he was lucky. And I might push it to maybe education.
Yeah.
Because his children were in Archimotor School. And Rollins was his adopted son. He loved Rollins. And Rollins took advice of it. The money was huge. And he sold something to Voice of America, $1 million. Yes. You understand? So he stood tall. He was a drummer. Fela came to learn from Kofi Ganaba. He was a jazz drummer and now turned into a divine drummer. If you see his photon from here to that place, he made money. So in spite of all the anomalies, as for the Ganaba, yes, and I'm saying that it might be his educational background and the fact that he stayed outside, and to have worked with Brett Comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe the lack of music business education was intentional or simply a missing piece in the industry's growth?
It's when you look at colonialism, you can answer this question easy. You see, the whites came to us with things, but they would also blind you. You understand? So that they can get your
going on.
And then push their agenda.
Exactly.
And that's what happened. So if you can say it was intentional in the eyes of the colonial masters, spooky, because they knew what they were doing and they knew what would come out if we became aware of what some of these things. You see, so around that time, yes, it was intentional that they will hide some of the truths from us. But now going forward, everybody's eyes is open. You cannot come and just do anything like that. Now it's not about popularity again. It's not about fame. It's about putting something in my pocket. So I don't care even if I'm popular. If I'm not popular and I still have the thing in my pocket, that's what
exactly
I want.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And yes, it was intentional in the sense that they meant business. And so anything that would be an impediment in their way, they will clear it. But the white man was very smart. They take the shea butter and then bring it polished, added value, and then you buy it. I'm telling you, when I hear some of the songs they orchestrate nowadays, I can see the research that has gone into it. Somebody like a guy I admire so much, Hans Zimmer. If I listen to his rhythms, I can see Abaja in his movie soundtracks. And I'm like, you won't get this anywhere except Africa and to Ghana, to be precise. And so it tells you the current generation and the old generation, the things that music, education, and business can bring. You have no idea. You understand? Yeah.
In your research, do you find a link between artists, financial struggles, and their limited access to music business knowledge?
Yeah,
it is there.
If you don't have if you don't have a business mind, forget about financial. Forget about making it in the business. You don't know that what you have as an IP.
Exactly.
You can sell it, or you can even give it up For some
money, yes. That is still yours. You don't even know the rights.
yes. You are go for.
That,
You understand?
see, like he's saying, a typical example is when I did the Heaven, Heaven, Heaven. Have you heard that song before? Heaven, Black, Jumbo, Mosquito. I did it 2014.
You did that?
Yes, for some Lebanese people who brought this Heaven Mosquito. I got 4,000 out of it at 2014. But the gentleman that liaised between me and them didn't make me sign any contract. But I all knew that even if the royalties are not coming, certain things like performance right was mine. With my little copyright education that I was given by Professor Collins.
Uncle.
Professor Collins. Yeah. He is still existing. One renowned, let me say Ghanaian musician, but he's white and an educationist. One day, it shall come to pass. Abeku Santana was running a show on his Jordan Bosus or whatever, and he would call in people. Okay, he would receive calls from people trying to emulate the song. So if you sing Heaven and you're able to sing it, you get a prize. That is a performance right. That is mine. And he did it severally. Now, there's a saying nowadays that internet doesn't forget. So I'm waiting for the right time. I'll sue OK TV. Is it OK? And he himself. I'm not joking. Because I did it and never got anything, 4,000. So these are some of the things. You get it? So the education is very, very important. Right now, as we sit here, there are a lot of things going on. And recently, Doc, we did something for a group. And when it's good,
yes.
fierce, and we're like,
we told them that hey,
it will happen.
It doesn't reach there. What you gave us is for
just producing. So if you anywhere you go, so on the script, on the score sheet, there, composed and arranged by Dr. Benjamin Amachi. So you can't rob it. So anywhere we hear, apart from the society playing it during their function, any other person. If we hear that they're using it even for TV, we can raise eyebrows that we haven't signed any contract. If you are signing a contract, you must tell us that you must spell out you use it for your advert, use it for that. I said, well, we didn't use it for advert. You said it's for just your. If your advert is coming in, means you are using it to make money. So we need to now set up and write. If you want it, write off commission. Let's know how much we will take. So we are wise
because of education.
How can integrating music business education into schools and music academies preserve not just culture but also ownership and economic empowerment?
You've even said it already. If you're educated, we will preserve. You see, it's very, very important that schools add music business
added
to their curriculum. Even from class 1, we should do it even to the university level. Because people compose, even at 6 years old people, but if they know their rights, then they know how to preserve exactly their songs and all those things. But they compose and then it's just what they found out. They don't have the education.
Exactly.
Okay, so in the university, for instance, we have all these courses. We have music business courses. We have this semester I'm teaching a course, music business and the law. You see, so you a musician. What are the laws governing your productions, your performance, your everything? You see, if you don't know it, then people will always enforce it. They will say, that one you are hungry. Meanwhile, you have something that you could have. It's necessary, you see. So that one,
necessary in the sense that even in HHS, if you know people are doing maths and other things, And those of us in the industry, I mean, those who are aspiring to come to the School of Performing Arts, they should be given few things on copyright, right from SS. When they come here, they are coming to live it because me, I would always stand for what we call here Agbana. I'm going to make noise that lecturers and HODs must design something for Agbana. Students who are going to the university must be sent out with their craft. We do it as intention, but we should go beyond just the intention where they go and learn. If they have composed, we should push them to get some performances and do and get some coins. Exactly. All these things. You know, it's necessary. So by the time he is finished with 4 years, he's equipped. He knows how much he's charging, even doing voiceover. He's charging doing voiceover for TV, radio, going as actor, as a performer. I mean, so that they can actually leverage on just coming to school to learn their trade. Because one beautiful thing that people don't know is if you call for Doc to come and play pa pam pa 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 pam bana da 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 word match, right? It can take him a week. Or as for him, because he's played and played it. But me, if I have to come and perform that for a wedding or at your wedding, I know I'm rusty with my sight reading. But because I'm determined, I'll use maybe 2 weeks to practice. Now I'll come and play for you in 5 minutes. And you think it's a joke.
Who pays for the 2 weeks of practice? Who pays?
Do you now understand? So they don't know, the consumers don't know what we go through. All you see is, oh, the mama was good. Child, my, oh, the mommy, thank you. Oh, massa, I take it to you now. But wow. Let me just share a scenario with you. A ship, you know, maintenance, right, repairer was called because a big ship has not moved for like 3 months. And the companies that own it, they are losing it. Repairers will come and go. This guy comes, gets to the space where the engine, whatever is the issue. He checks and checks and checks, and within 30 minutes, spark. He got him. And then he puts his bill down. They were like, oh, you only came, like, okay. Wait, I want to show you. Spark. This thing has been sitting here for 3 months. I have come, put live into it, and you're telling me I just did it. Do you know what is happening here? Over the years' experience in just 30 minutes is what you are paying for, not my coming here. So it's in our situation too. And it's sad sometimes how we are even treated. Oh, the musician is in, okay, let him sit somewhere there. Okay, wait, when we finish with this discussion before he will come in, the way we are even treated. And you also charge, yeah. My professionalism, no.
But why is it important to document and teach music business mistakes and lessons of past generations of artists?
Oh, by divines in the Bible. Ask for the ancient paths and walk in. There's also Sankofa. There's that theory of Sankofa.
Yes.
If we don't, Bob Marley also said, if you know your history, you know. So these are
where you're coming from.
Yes. The mistakes of the past are there important so that we in the future.
Yes, we will not make such mistakes.
We will not go back to those mistakes.
Exactly.
We see, even in the now, we also make mistakes. And the future people
will come and learn
from. You think you've learned from those mistakes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we've moved on.
We may not have covered everything, but at least now musicians are enjoying. You tell Shatawali,
yeah, look at Shatawali. He's killing them.
He will not come to your program if you don't put.
He's $200,000. No,
in those days, like Amachi they don't for and the rest. They will come because it's fame. Oh, plenty of people will come. Oh, he says, by Shatawale, Stone Boy or all those, they won't come. If you like, don't put their tech.
They won't come, forget. And they will even take, as they come, no, the beauty of their performances is dependent on the envelope. If he gets it and locks it in his car boot, now you have him. He will run the show. That's it. We have learned. Just as our ancestors were, even those of us lineage from Winneba, from Abuache, they were using leopards. Go in and catch a leopard. But the leopards were killing our people. They changed. Actually, they were doing human sacrifice at the time. Right? Then they turned into leopards and they realized that no, now deer, antelope, making it easier for people. So we've learned. And in this day of digitization, there are a lot of cultures that we are even
blending,
trying to, make them more flexible.
Well, looking at this day and age, and then now most artists, because of advance, they signing off their masters to maybe for a foreign label. Do you think most of them have really sat down to think about what they are doing, or is so they still lose on learned it, they are not still they've still not learned it, and they are still like they are being exploited with regards to owning of their masters, and maybe they sing deals and then licensing their music to the bigger music companies.
These are all copyright issues. Yeah, and you can look at it from different angles. Number one, somebody is he's hard up, and he has a master, or he's done some music, and you tell him maybe he hasn't even seen 1 million Ghana cedis before, and you say, I'm going to give you 1 million Ghana cedis. He'll say, okay, take the money, but he doesn't know that it's forever. I mean, you are going to even make like, yes, so many.
Exactly.
But once he has that big money he hasn't seen before, it sounds everything off.
Yeah.
Take, so that I can also
Go and get this settle one or two. But then the likes of, we'll go back to the likes of Stone Boy and the rest, and they know what they are doing. Stone Boy and the rest
they'll never sell
what
their
they are
market.
doing. The rumor was that Shatta Wale got $1 million from Beyonce. Whether it was correct or wrong, today we have seen the mansion he's using. Where did the money come from? He's doing well because Shatta is right now, I mean, the most, I would say the highest paid
Business-minded
business
musician.
And now he has Shazzy and whatever. It is out of, I mean, business going to, what's the name? Jamaica and all that. Everybody now knows Shatta, that if you call Shatta, unless he wants to come and do benevolent act, but if that's not the case, we are here, and he's shown some, the new business mogul that is in town. His thing at the end, and it didn't go. That's 200 million, 200 something dollars. Otherwise, he won't come. He didn't go. So
He doesn't need it.
the current generation, they are learning from Shatta and the rest. I'm sure the rap artist, what's his name? Sarkodie is also doing, and gradually. But usually, sometimes there are some compromises here and there. Like Doc said, at the very beginning, if me sitting here, I give out my eyepiece for maybe $500,000, and I say, okay, this one, I'm writing it off, knowing who I am as a composer and the things I'm doing. Doing the same thing the next time is not going to be the same as writing it off. Do you understand? Yes. Somebody can come and say, oh, Charlie, I'm commissioning you to do this. That one is something that is more understood by the two. For instance, doing a film score for DSTV. DSTV wants to own the first time I did, they gave me 10,000. Then the next one came, they gave me 8,000. Then they bring a contract for me to sign, and that I the money was to write off everything. I'm like, oh, if Kobe Jansa, this is what you're going to talk about. I wouldn't have signed for 10,000. If that is what they want, then I'm going to do a cutoff point. Maybe I'll do 15 pieces of scores. Being emotional, dramatic, suspense, tension, recreational. I create 5, 5, 5, 5. When I finish, now I know it's commissioned. This one, I'll get my acknowledgement. I won't get royalties. It's write-off. So at least give me 25,000 Ghana cedis for the. And then he said, oh, we should make it 20. At least that is something that I know that, okay, I'm doing this for that. Even though the money is small, I've done 1, I've done 2, I've done 3. Acknowledgement alone is also going to bring people, oh, you did this, you did that. That is my handwriting there. But definitely, time is going to change. When I've also invested in my studio, now have machines like the finalizers and all that. Masa, and when I go through that, that one is going to change. I'll tell you. Now you came into my studio. This is it. This time round, put 500,000 down, and that one self it comes with 40% royalties. Take it or leave it. I hear 1, 2, 3. I didn't even have this, and I did them. Now this time round, this is my game. Wow, Weber. So it's sometimes steps. Knowing is good, and taking decision is also another thing.
So looking at the history of high life, the hip life, and then comparing to this day and age, that is there's the Afrobeat to the world conversation. Do you think Ghanaians can actually go back to, even if there's zonto time, to own our sound, or we just have to like rally behind the Afrobeat to the world conversation? Like, yes, if we have to rally behind, or we have to fall back to like our own journal.
Identity is very important. You see, the high life and music of the past, you could really tell the Ghanaian identity in. And so, to me, getting our identity in music is very, very important. Nigerians will come and do things Nigerian. And then Ghanaians will be chasing after the Nigerian things and just performing. Look at South Africans, they come out with their brand of music.
Yeah, I'm up here.
So now, currently, what would you say is the Ghanaian brand?
It's still the high life that you go for.
And so those music there, we should go back.
Yeah, take them.
High life is lost now. Now the Nigerians are all in it. You are the originators.
Conversation,
debate.
forget it. It won't. It's a non-starter, in a sense that the one that they are dwelling on, the Sonny Okunsons and the rest, learned from our people. Okay, high life. If you hear a Nigerian, listen, we were sporting high life there, Bob Cole and the rest. For the Sonny Okunsons, then the Victor Iwaifo, thems, they also have their traditional, but the high life thing is here. We got the guitar from the crew, and then the Jacob Psalms began their Amponsa flavor. And guess what? The high life will never leave the shores of this country. We also have to just make sure it's solid in our hearts. King Paluta is a typical high life artist.
How do you suppose the high life?
High life is a social construct. Okay, with elements around. When I say social construct, I mean it was coined. Music for the high society is high life. So if you are now blending, I want to know what high life music is. It is music for the high class in society. And the high class society, they listen to reggae. They listen to jazz. They listen to Afro-Cuban music. They listen to local palm wine music, Kwampa. You understand? The reason is Kim Bruce and E.T. Mensah's had training with the whites. But then the coming of Nkrumah Nkrumah's idea of African capable of, they all changed. So they maintain the Cuban style of music, the jazz, the classical, but this time round, they can have the same progression, but put in shito mi slote, paposhi toka, whatever, you know, changing with the blend. And so this argument has gone on, but we've had professors and the likes of Dr. Amachi, grounding it that look, high life music is the popular music that can in. But then you can think of, we have authentic high life music. That's the Anhumensia, the Ejakonimo, that style, plus the Amachi the Dems. They are coming from a guitar band. And then the Ramblers, the Pat Thomases, and the Papa Youngsters are coming from the big band. They are towing the Ramblers style. But if you listen to Ramblers, they have a song. They still have the vibe, the authentic music. Just that the texture is different. If what's the name? Ampedu is playing the guitar, right? Drummers will use horns and things. So texture is different, but we are still singing the same language with Amponsa in there. And so we have something very rich. And we can also make it more policy, where it is that if you say you are launching an album, the creative art industry will say 3 of them must be typical. Otherwise, you have to make a conscious effort. Then everybody will come. I said Kim Paluta, he's rhyming because you see his tracks, Lumba and the rest, they are all in there small. If you fish or use it, the guy, when did he come? But he's been in the system for long. The head, what's the name? The vice chancellor. That is his song. We did a get together as lecturers. Then they should play that for him. And then Kimpaluta, Kimpa. Oh, say the language, the intonation is very Ghanaian. So the Afrobeat, listen, Nigerians are stealing from Amapiano. If you want to, and you see, it's called in traditional style, chords. What I cherish about the Nigerians, doc, is that they will play their dondo inside.
You feel the Nigerian.
And the intonation of the Yoruba language, it's also flying. Ghana, we've only stuck to 3. The moment I heard this song was by Sowiness. They did a song, Anetuada, that it was one, like, a futu, or a wutu. Anetuada, I was like, whoa. So we are limiting ourselves. We need to begin to go. It hurts that a side of me come from a Winnie, but I don't know the language. Bason, I know, and things. Check Mewe. Mewe is Zoblazo. It is Enzima, but it has that francophone flavor, and people think he's a typical Ghanaian. That's very Ghanaian, Enzima. That's what he sings. He doesn't sing any language from Ivory Coast. So we are rich, but people are not researching. So if we make a conscious effort, like Obasanjo did, to bring the face of Nigeria, through music, we can also do it. And say that if you say you are doing an album, before you commission it, we need to hear one Ga flavor in it. So there are 10, but 5 in your 5 here are bind there. That's it. 5 there, you can go and do Indian. We don't care. But a conscious effort, and government will even sponsor you. Yes, in a way, people say, challenge the maminya for high life. At least, if you hustle and government even give you 30,000 Ghana cedis. Somebody might even help you.
Yeah.
But government is giving you 30,000 and then also asking the media houses to play high life. Every media house, give us 1 hour within a week of high life version. You better monitor.
If you don't do it, you close down.
Me say, a conscious effort.
Yeah, so my last question would be if we are going to introduce music business into our curriculum, what are the potential positives and the negatives that we should be looking at, like we have in mind that we are going to like face, and how we are going to combat all those?
Negatives here, we should take it away.
Yeah. It's going to be more.
They are all positives because the negatives didn't help us. The negatives may be that now musicians will become aware.
Yeah, yes.
Look, you cannot divide me for me. Yes. And you cannot take anybody for granted again.
Yeah. And then,
Lot of, we have been taken for granted for far too long. Especially even if it comes to gospel musicians.
oh,
I'm talking about church musicians. Like this, Bananjan, yes.
are they that we
These songs we be singing in church every day. So I hope that doesn't have a, because they say freely you receive, freely you give. God gave you the gifts,
and so also fetch it.
and so they don't benefit anything.
Yes.
Meanwhile, in our churches, these are the songs we sing for offering. When we are going for offering, we will sing this as James. How much has he been given because of that song? But all churches are singing it. You understand? So especially the church musicians, they are even not out of. They are not part of this conversation. But if this education is made and everybody now is aware that, look, music is no longer what it used to be in terms of business. Music is not just about fame again. I want to be famous. No, we've gone past
I don't want film.
that level. Now, whatever you put down as an intellectual property, you will have to benefit from it. It will help all about. So the positives here, they are many, but the negatives, please.
And with just the moment you try to bring it, it's actually going to open doors for music business in law. Students can finish here and go and do law for music, for the art. But we don't have people who are cut out for us. We only go for a general lawyer. We need to begin to look at curriculum that ends people to go to law school to learn copyright and stuff. It's also going to spread. Now we have copyright law, lawyers for our business. They can now be better managers and all that. We won't go and bring Abeku Santana, who will just be playing my track and take me here and there and then be chopping, a manager, go for the right person who can help you achieve what you want to. So it's very, very important. And I think it's the positives that it becomes a part of it. The students don't just go out there and then sing for free, go and clap for free. No. They must understand what goes into, the arts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.